So, I am back again with another video, and this video will be on volunteering in Japan! Yes! And so, I have had many chances in Japan so far, both with AFS and personally, to volunteer in Japan, and they have been so great, I thought I would make a video about it for you guys. And so, one of my favorite volunteering experiences so far has been with the Nico Nico House. This one I did personally. I went in through my school. It was a big list of volunteering opportunities, and you had to fill out an application. And the top one that you picked, if available, you got to go on. And so I got to go to that one. It was a 3-day experience. It was 8 hours each day though, so it added up to 24 hours worth of volunteering. But it was so amazing. It was so great. It was at the Nico Nico House, which is an organization that works with elderly and adults with physical and mental disability. It was almost kind of like a daycare for the adults and elderly with disabilities. It was really, really fun to work with them there. They were preparing for a Matsuri, which is a Japanese festival, which they needed help uh, making things for to sell. How they raise money for the organization is by selling stuff at their Matsuri, so they needed some extra hands, which is where us volunteers came in. We went and we helped them make all their things that they needed to sell, some of which included shibori, which is a traditional type of Japanese napkinware. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but this is shibori, and I actually made this. And I also made this, which is another type of Japanese shibori. And what we did was the first day we did a lot of sewing to prepare the cloth for being dyed. And so, like on this, we everywhere where there was white, we sewed the cloth together, and since the cloth was pressed up against each other, the dye didn't soak in, and so that's how we made these. And then for this one, we triangle folded it and pushed it up against 2 triangle blocks and tied it really tight, and then dipped it in dye the next day. And we also dyed this one the next day. And then the final day, we sewed them together to make the final products needed to be sold at the Matsuri. And throughout this entire time, we also worked with the elderly and adults with disabilities. It was really, really good experience working with them. Since in America, I worked with students with disability and some young adults with disabilities. It was really nice to also get to work with people with disabilities here in Japan. It was really, really nice to get to volunteer again. I think one of my favorite moments during that volunteer experience was with an elderly man who knew how to play the piano really well. He played some simple tunes, and one of them happened to be Mary Had a Little Lamb, and so I started to sing along in English, and everyone was just so amazed with our collaboration of piano work and English singing, because this is in Japan, and so a lot of people don't get to hear English very often. And so we went back and forth singing different little kid songs. I think we sung Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, the Do Re Mi. It was just so much fun, and I really had a great time working at the Nico Nico House. The staff there is excellent. They absolutely knew what they were doing. That organization program was organized very, very well, and I'm so impressed. I hope I can volunteer more there before I leave Japan. The next one I would like to talk about is I volunteered at a deaf school in Japan with AFS. It was about 9 AFS students and about 32 deaf students from a deaf school. We actually got to learn how to say the school in sign language. It was Nagoya Deaf Gakko. And Gakko is school, and it was the Han, and Nagoya was horns, which is some famous like statue or significant to Nagoya, and that's why it's recognized as Nagoya. And of course, ears for deaf. And we made these fabulous posters that are behind me. The first one is Sakura, which is cherry blossom, and we wrote the kanji for it. And the next one is Tomodachi, which means friend in Japanese. And it was a really great experience to work with them. Everyone there was really nice. I just love being able to work with these children that are just so amazing. And, you know, it just makes me so happy every time I get to volunteer at a different place. And then we've also volunteered at several elementary schools here. And I love working with children all over. I used to volunteer with children in America, and so volunteering with children here is also very heartwarming. You know, children, no matter what culture you are in, are always the sweetest things you will ever get to meet. I love working with the children here. They are so nice. I try to teach them English, and they try to help me teach or help me learn Japanese. And so we'll go back and forth, and I'm like, "Nani desu ka?" And they'll be like, "Melon desu," or, you know, "Hashi desu." Hashi is Japanese chopsticks, and I'm like, let's see. これは英語何? And they'll try to guess what it is in English, and then I tell them, this is my little Japanese anime character that my Frenchie, got me for my birthday. Arigato, Frenchie. And so, I loved working with children here. We also did some various working with young children, I'm guessing probably elementary school, where we helped them learn English, and that was really, really fun to do. We did definitely a couple of games to try and help them learn and use English, since here, even though they studied English very, very hard, they don't necessarily learn how to speak English very well. And so through our program, we're trying to help the younger generations learn English more effectively so they can use it in a broader world sense. And so that so far has been a couple of my experiences with Japanese volunteering. I hope you guys liked it. I hope if you guys are inspired to go volunteer, that you check out some your local community volunteer programs, or if you're looking more international wise, always check out AFS. There are some great programs for studying abroad, and there's some also great volunteering based programs that AFS is offering. And also, if you are in the US right now, AFS is looking for host families for current AFS students. So if you guys are interested in hosting a international student, give AFS a information call or fill out an application to become a host family. What would be a greater experience than have a foreign version of me come live at your house? You know? It makes sense. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!